Okay, so we created the bottom part of our housing unit. If I bring in my image planes, what we've done is we've covered the bottom part of the bolts, right? So we're gonna have two lips, one that comes from the bottom part of the housing unit, and then we're gonna have another lip that's gonna start from there, and we're gonna create the top of our housing unit. So if I bring in my reference sheets, you will notice that this is called a resilient valve. Now, what we wanna do, we wanna explore this part right here, right? So what we're gonna do is we are going to create the top of this lip right here, and we have a bevel going from the housing of the bottom of the bolt to the lip. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna salvage this piece right here, and we're gonna replicate it on the top. And then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna create this piece right here and then replicate it on the top. And then we're gonna combine the top piece right here with this box that we're gonna create. And we're gonna use the Make Live quad draw retopology technique. All right, so let's get started. So let's see what we can salvage. Now, we're happy with this piece right here. This is what we built. And what I wanna do is I wanna extend the lip first. So I'm gonna go to my 3/4 view. Here's our object. And notice that I had to create this lip right here so I can create the bevel for this object to go all the way around. What we're gonna do next is we're going to extrude our edges and have them match with our bolt cover. So I'm gonna start from this side. I'm gonna select this edge right here, and I'm gonna go to extrude. I'm going to use my move tool. So what we're gonna do is we wanna snap it to this point right here. So I'm gonna hold V, middle mouse, drag it right there. Now we are gonna get rid of this bevel right here. And since we are only working with this top, what I'm gonna do to make it easier on myself, I'm gonna select these faces right here. I'm not worried about this, so I'm gonna deselect those, and I'm gonna cut this piece from this one geometry. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go to Edit Mesh, Extract, Q, and notice that we have two objects, 1 and 2. I'm gonna select both of them, delete the history, and freeze their transformation. And I'm gonna open my outliner because we wanna get rid of this object. I'm gonna put this right here for now. I'm gonna go right mouse button on my layer that says proxy, and I'm gonna add it. And I'm gonna rename that one and call it housing. Change the color, hit save, and now we can concentrate on this piece right here. Let's extrude the opposite side right here. Right mouse button, edge, modeling toolkit, and we're gonna do an extrude. We could use this handle right here, but I'd rather use the move tool. It does the same thing. Again, I'm gonna go now to my right view. I'm gonna zoom in, and we're gonna drag it, V, middle mouse, snap it to this point right here. And there you have it. So if I go to the top view, this edge has been aligned with the body of our cover from this view, and then this edge has been aligned with the body of our cover. I'm not talking about the lip that we created. We're gonna get rid of that lip right now. So let me go to perspective view. This piece right here was used to create a bevel underneath the lip and where the bolt cover and the housing meet all the way around. But since we're gonna have this edge right here merge with this planes right here, we want to get rid of these guys. So what we can do is I can select this lip right here. I can delete those. They're a little bit distracting, and I'm going to rebuild everything from scratch. And now what we want to do is we want to make sure that we have the bevel here, but then here our bevel is going to be flush with our surface. The way that we do this is really easy. Okay, I can select these two vertices right here, and what I'm going to do with my move tool, I'm going to snap them so they all merge with this vertex right here. So I'm going to hit V, middle mouse, drag them. Now that didn't work because we have keep spacing on, so I have to go W for move tool, left mouse button, click on your canvas, and deselect keep spacing. Now when I move this and I hold V, middle mouse, and drag it to this button, this is what has happened. Now, you're probably going, great, you have put all of them together. How do you select them? Well, they're pretty easy to select. If I select one of the adjacent vertices, and with my left arrow keys, let me select this one first. And I go to my left, is going to go to the corresponding vertex right here. So I'm going to move this one up, and I'm going to snap it vertically to his adjacent vertex. So I'm going to hold V, middle mouse, and then drag it so that it snaps on the Y to the vertex that's next to it. And then I'm going to do the same thing for the one below. Select this guy with your arrow keys, select left. It will go camera left. Drag it on the Y, hold V, middle mouse, snap it right here. And now you will notice that these guys are aligned with this vertex right here. I'm going to quickly do the other ones around. Select these two guys, V, snap it. I'm going to select this guy, left arrow key, move him up, V, snap it here. This guy, the same thing, select it, left arrow keys, move it up on Y, V, middle mouse, drag it here. And I'm going to do that all the way around. There you have it. Now these guys are aligned on the X and the Z with the vertex at the bottom. So all we need to do is these guys right here. V, snap them. Select this guy, move them up. V, snap it. Select the adjacent vertex. Left arrow, move them on Y. V, snap it. And again, if you guys look at what I did on this side, I'm keeping the bevel right here. This is still bevel, but when it gets to the second polygon edge, they're all aligned. Same thing here. So I'm going to go 1, 2. These guys need to be aligned. Again, move them. V, snap them. Select the adjacent. Left arrow key up. V, snap it right here. Left arrow, move up. V, snap it. Now, when I go to object mode and hit 3, you will notice that this edge goes from a bevel in the corner to a flat surface. Now, what we need to do is that we need to extend this edge right here so that it ends at this point right here. So I'm going to select this edge and I'm going to extend it so that it meets right there, and then create edge loops right here and then right here. So let me do undo. So the question was, if we create something using the quad draw, we get out of the quad draw and we go to a polygon, can we go back to the quad draw and edit the topology or the surface of that polygon? Yes, we can. This guy was created with quad draw. However, I deleted my history, froze my transformation, and I centered my pivot. So technically, it should not remember that it was done with a quad draw. To alter the geometry, to rebuild the geometry, or to add to the geometry of an object using the quad draw, what you have to do is you have to select the object first, go to the modeling toolkit, and then immediately hit quad draw. This is different than in video 3, where we use an object that was live to draw on top of to rebuild our topology. So here we go. Selected the object, and I'm going to click on quad draw, and there you have it. We can now use the quad draw to start building this geometry. I'm going to take advantage of some of the tools that we find in the quad draw. I'm going to go to my bottom view, tab. I'm going to extend this edge right here, like so. I'm going to go to the opposite side. Now I can do this one from this point right here, tab, extend it like so. And if I go to my perspective view, with your left mouse button, what you're going to do is you're going to drag this point right here to this corner, and the same thing right here. Drag this point to this corner, and quad draw will snap those newly created vertices to the ones that you drag them to. Let's continue with our project. This edge right here is aligned with this point right here, and this edge right here is aligned with this point right here, this guy right there. So what I'm going to do next is I'm going to use one of my favorite tools from quad draw. The other tool that we can use is the extrude border edge. In order to extrude the border edge, we have to hold tab right mouse button, and we're gonna go to our quad draw options. We wanna select the extend border. When I select this, notice that if I hold tab and I go to one of my border edges, I can extract these border edges all at once. Now this is a fantastic tool right here. If I go to my perspective view, notice that it extended everything all the way around. But what I want to do is I want to get rid of these poly faces right here. So I'm going to go to Q, Faces, and I'm going to select from here, Shift, double click here. Select these guys at the bottom. And select these faces right here. Like so. Hit delete. Now what we're going to do is we are going to make sure that from the top view, this edge that we created, it's aligned perfectly right here to this point. Let me zoom in. So this edge right here, it's aligned to these points right here. And if I select these guys and go to my 3/4 view, you'll see what I mean. So these guys are perfectly aligned right here. These guys are perfectly aligned. Now we want these guys right here. If I go to my top view, hit F to find them. There they are. So I'm going to use my move tool and I'm going to move them in this direction. And then I'm going to middle mouse snap them right here. And let's go to my perspective view. This is exactly what we wanted. Okay, we'll talk about fixing the top in a second. Now, the ones that are on top of these, I'm going to select. So I'm going to select this guy and then this guy right here. And then I'm going to move these guys in. Like so. Now let's do that for this side. I can move those guys in first. And then select these guys right here. Move them. V, middle mouse, snap it to these guys right here. And there you have it. And I'm quickly going to hit 3. Fantastic. So this is what we want. If we go to our references in Photoshop, we have our bevel that goes in right here. The bevel bevels underneath the lip. But right here in our corners, our lip, it's going to fuse with the shape of our cylinders. Let me go back to Maya. Now, what we want to do is we want to make sure that this edge right here, from here to here, is aligned with this edge right here. If we do this, what's going to happen is that we're going to cram them right here. No big deal. We can select these vertices right here. This guy, this guy, this guys, and this guys. Okay. Like so. We can move them down from now. Now select these guys, move them in Y, V, middle mouse, and click in either this point right here or that one. It doesn't matter. All right, so I just want to see what I have right here. I'm going to hit 3. Okay, excellent. What I want to do with these guys, I want to snap these guys so that they match these guys right here. Now, remember, I hit W, and then with my left mouse button in the canvas, I was able to deselect keep spacing. I want spacing back. And now I'm going to make sure that my pivot point is that top vertex right here. I'm going to hit D, right? Move this up like this, hold V, and now it's snap right here. So to get back to the move tool, just hit D. And now when I move this and I middle mouse, click on this point right here with the V, it will snap these 3 while keeping the spacing to this point right here on the Y. Like so. I'm going to leave these guys the way they are for now. I'm going to do these guys again. Again, disengage the pivot point by hitting D. Move it up. V. Select this guy. Hit D. Move up. V. Middle mouse button. Click on this guy. Let's hit 3. Much better. We will take care of this pinching right here once we extend this edge. Okay, so let's extend that edge. And let's create this lip right here. So I'm gonna go to my edge. I'm gonna Q, select this edge right here, Shift, double click on this edge so that it selects the edge loop from this point to this point. And let's create another extrusion. So I'm gonna go to extrude. See, this is why I don't like using the extrude manipulator, because it gives me these weird movements right here. I could click on this guy right here and go towards the center, or I can hit the move tool and then just move this guy up. I'm now gonna go to my side view. Let me go right here, and I'm gonna open up my image plane, and I'm gonna see how thick this lip is. So this lip needs to go right here, like the drawing determines. Perfect. Again, we are gonna fix these guys right here. I'm gonna hit 3, right mouse button, see what our lips looks like. Right, it's looking really good, believe it or not. And we will fix these guys right here. If I go to 1, one thing that I've noticed, if I look at my reference sheets, is that the bottom of the lip also has a bevel. That bevel imitates the bevels on the sides of my bolt encasings. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to apply the same bevel that I have here. I'm going to apply it right here. And we're going to get a really gnarly connector right here. No big deal. I'm going to select this edge, shift select this edge right here, and select these edges. All right, let's apply a bevel. So in my modeling toolkit, I'm going to go to bevel. And for this bevel, I'm going to eyeball it. Okay, let me add another segment. And let me increase my fraction. And I can only go so far. Perfect. However, what I want is right there. This bevel right here matches this bevel right here. If I go to object mode and hit 3, this is what we get. Just like in our reference. So we have a bevel on the inside, a bevel on the corner. Now we got to fix these guys right here. So I'm going to go to 1 and I'm going to see what kind of a disaster I have. I want to retain this bevel right here, but when these two guys connect, I want them to be all in one piece, and I want to minimize the amount of edges that I have. Let me go to my side view and see what's going on here. Notice also this bevel created an indentation in our edge. That's not a big deal. So let's fix things one at a time. I'm going to hide my image planes. I'm going to select these guys. Make sure that keep spacing is deselected. Move it. V. Snap. Let's select the next row. Okay. You may want to do this in a 3/4 view just to double check. Make sure that you're not selecting the wrong thing. I'm going to go to Q. Double click on this edge. Let's see what it's selected. That's perfect. Now the snapping vertices to a point also works with edges. So if I go to my side view, right, notice that I've selected these edges, W, and I'm going to move these guys up. But I don't have a reference point, so let me deselect this edge. Here we go. And I'm going to snap it to this point right here. There you have it. Now we want to do the same thing right here. So I'm going to go from this point right here, this edge right here, to this edge right here. And I'm going to select these two guys. W, move them up. And V, snap it to this point right here. Let me make sure that that's the right point. It is. And again, these guys, we will fix them right now. Let's put all of these vertices right here aligned with this vertex right here and this vertex right here. Right mouse button vertices. It doesn't matter how you move this, right? But because we already have our Y done and perfectly aligned, as you can see right here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to my side view, move it in this direction, V, snap it right here, and then I'm going to go to this view, move it in this direction, the X, V, snap it right here. And as you guys can see, now they're all aligned perfectly. These guys are okay. However, I don't trust Maya. So I'm going to go to top view. I'm going to hit F. And notice that in this view right here, I did not select this vertex right here or this vertex right here. So I'm gonna go in this direction, V, snap it here, and then I'm gonna go in the Z direction, V, snap it here. Now notice that they're all aligned perfectly. So let's do this, the same thing for these guys. Let's move it, V, a snap in X. Let's move it, V, a snap in Z. And then this guys, same thing. Move, snap in X, move in Z, snap in Z, and there you have it. All right, let's double check. Select this guy, hit 3, object mode, deselect it, and let's check it out. This is exactly what we want. Now, we are gonna fix this pinching right here. And this pinching is due to the fact that we have a lot of CVs touching in the same. So what I wanna do is I wanna see if I can combine some of these guys right here. Let's see, go to faces. I have 4-point faces, I have quads. There are quads everywhere. These guys are, quad right here is ending in 1 point. What would happen if I could align this edge to this edge right here by moving it in the X direction, holding V and then snapping it right there? Could I combine some edges right here? Okay, let me fix this guys right here and move them in the Z direction, V, snap them right here. And let's see what we can do. But we're gonna get a really cool bevel right here, make 3. Now let's see what kind of edges can we get rid of. We don't wanna get rid of these edges. This is our bevel. So we need these guys right here. Now these guys, I think they're overkill. Let's explore this. We need this edge right here because we need this bevel. So we need 3 edges right here, and we need 3 edges right here. All right, let me fix this right here. W, I'm gonna move it on the Z and then snap it right here. And then I'm gonna go to its counterpart on the opposite side. Yep. Select this guys, move them, and then snap them right here. I don't know if I did that over here. No. Move them and then snap them right here. All right. You want a little bit of order. Okay, we could extend another edge right here to have more edge support. So when we hit 3, these guys don't slide so much, but we'll fix that later. Okay, so let's try to combine all these edges right here. Well, I need these 3 guys right here, and I need these 3 guys right here, right? And they're all aligned correctly. I'm just gonna double check, yes. This guy is a little bit in, closer to this guy. Okay, that's not a big deal. So let's see if we can combine edges. We need the 3 and edges. We need the 3 edges, which are these extensions, and we need the 3 edges. But we don't need these 3 edges right here. What would happen if I selected those edges, okay, and I deleted them, shift, right mouse button, delete edges? What am I going to end up with? Well, I know that I can go from 3 edges right here. So this is a quad, but this is an n-gon. This is a non-manifold polygon face. That's what n-gon stands for. But I can use my multicut tool. So from here to here, I'll create a quad, right? So I just want to see what it looks like for now. I'm going to hit 3, and my pinching is gone. However, I ended up with an extra edge loop right here. So always double check. Do I have quads right here? Yes, I have 1, 2, 3, and 4. How about here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. So we need to take care of this guy right here. So let's fix the opposite side. Again, select your multicut tool, and I'm gonna go from here to here, and I'm gonna hit enter, and right? So I got 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's a quad. Let me hit 3. That's a beautiful quad. Now let's fix this edge right here. So I'm gonna hit Q, and I'm gonna insert an edge that goes from here all the way to here. Now I like doing my multicut tools cuts in this way. Why? Because obviously I have to snap and align these vertices. So now I'm going to go to object mode, Q, select vertices. I'm going to select this guy right here, this guy, and this guy. Move tool, W, make sure that keep spacing is not on, and middle mouse, snap it, and there you have it. All right, now if I hit Q, right, selection tool, type in 3, and look at this. We have a bevel here, we have a bevel on this edge, we have a bevel on the inside, and we have a bevel going around our bolt casing. Now, another thing that we can do to minimize this pinching right here is that we can scale these poly edges right here by selecting these vertices right here and scaling them in the Y direction so that they have the same spacing as these faces right here. Now the way that we do this is that we first scale it on the Y and then we move it with the move tool like so. Use your side views like this. There we go. It looks correct. Now I'm going to move these guys right here. Let me hit 3 and see what kind of a pinching I get. It's a little bit better than before. So what I can do with this, hit 1. That's fine. That's fine. We can probably bring these guys in. So these two vertices right here, I'm going to scale those guys down. R, scale on the Y, and then go to one of the side views and then bring them down like so. I'm going to hit 3. I'm going to go right mouse button, select all these newly created edges like so. And I'm going to go shift, right mouse button, soften harder edges, soften edges. And there you have it. I'm going to go to my bottom view now. And I'm going to select this edge right here. Move it on the X direction, V, snap it to this point right here. And I'm going to do the same thing for this edge right here. In this case, we're going to snap it, V, holding the Z direction. Not too worried about this edge right here. However, if I wanted to fix this, I can select this edge, then move it up, V, snap it to this point right here, and do the same thing right here. Select this edge, move it on X, V, snap it to the point, and now you have perfectly aligned edges. I'm going to go to this opposite view right here. I think I'm going to lower this edge right here. That looks better. And hit Q, select this object, 3, and let's look at the smooth version in perspective. And there you have it. So what we want to do now is we want to go to our image planes. Let's go to our channels, turn on the visibility for the image plane. So let's quickly create the top of our lip. So in order to do this, I'm going to go to 1. And first, I'm going to select this edge from here. Shift, double click this edge. If you happen to select everything else, hold Control, deselect all the edges that you don't want. And now I'm going to do an extrusion. Now remember, this is 1/4 of our top piece. We only did 1/4 because then we're going to flip it on X with our mirror tool, and then we're going to flip it on Z to create the top piece. And first, let me delete that history. There's a lot of history, as you guys can see in the channel box. So history, freeze transformation, center pivot. I'm going to select these edges right here. Control deselect the rest. And I'm going to do my extrusion so that it goes inwards. So I'm going to go to my modeling toolkit, extrude, right? Let me just make sure that, yep, I have the edges extruded. Now another trick that I can do is I can reset the pivot point so that my pivot point is at the edge right here and at this edge right here. Hit D. I'm going to move this on Z, V, snap to this edge, and then I'm going to go in this direction, V, snap to this edge, and I'm going to switch it to the scale. And what I want to do is scale from the middle. And notice that we get a better quote-unquote extrusion. My edges go right here, and they will all meet in this point right here. So this is a much better extrusion. All right, so let's do a bevel. Let's select this guy, shift, double click this edge. So I'm going to do a bevel. I'm going to make sure that I have 2 segments. And I'm going to move my fraction first, like this. Then I'm going to go to my top view, hit 4 for wireframe, and I'm going to make sure by moving my middle mouse button that my bevel, it's the same width as the bottom bevel. So because of the snapping that's going on, it's really hard to get it together. But I know that it's going to be between here and here. So this is 0.1, this is 0.2. So I can go to my bevel window right here, and I can type in 0.17. And now, if I go to my 3/4 view, right? Object mode, 3/4 view. Notice that this bevel right here is the same as this bevel right here. We're looking at this 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. I'm gonna select these edges right here. Double click on this edge, shift, double click on this edge, shift, double click on this edge. Or I can select these guys with my drag tool, and I'm gonna go shift, right mouse button, soften harder edges, soften edges, hit 3, and there you have it.